All right, guys, so it is October, which means I'm sure you're aware that we are looking at a lot of fall season decor. The air has started to chill, and yet sadly, we're also still looking at Halloween decorations. There's more Halloween suggested movies on our streaming services, and people have already started to decorate their lawns with images as well. Now, it's no surprise that I used to participate in Halloween before I was saved. It was actually one of my favorite holidays for years, even when I claimed to be a Christian. I had zero idea of the implication and the open doors during that time that I was completely unaware of. However, over the last couple of years, I have learned and researched a lot about this day, and I understand more about why this quote unquote holiday is celebrated from the world's view. So it doesn't surprise me when I see those who are not surrendered to Christ participate also in this holiday. I encourage everyone to look up the origins of where all this began. Do your own research. I'm not going to be another person on here saying you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. What I am saying is research it, pray about it, and if God's convicting you, there's a reason for it. And listen to that. Heed to that instruction. Don't just do it out of obligation or tradition or whatever it may be. Like, really research it before moving forward with participating in this. So we've adopted this as an American culture really easily. I have pictures of myself when I was a kid dressed up and participating in it. And I'm going to do next week a video about the haunted house I visited and what that includes. But this holiday represents a whole bunch of stuff between, the costumes and the decor and the candy. So today's episode is actually going to be concentrated on church and candy more than anything else. So there's a lot that can go into this. As many of you guys may be aware of, there are many churches in America that are trying to now contract against what the holiday is celebrating. So they're trying to do their own Halloween version that's not so Halloweenish. And a lot of the churches are just kind of downplaying the scary stuff, right? So they're still allowing costumes and the candy and the games and all this and that. And they call it a harvest festival or a trunk or treat. And their hope is like, okay, well, we'll just take away the goblins and, the witches and all the scary masks and everything's going to be okay because that's the only thing bad about this day. No. No. Trunk or treat is a version of trick or treating. And the origins of that is demonic, right? The whole dressing up, even if you're not dressed up as something scary, the origins of that is demonic. Again, do your own research into this. It's not hard to find. Witches don't celebrate the resurrection, right? So why are we celebrating Halloween? This is their day. The spiritual realm on Halloween is so incredibly insane. You guys, research this. It is absolutely mind-blowing. So, churches and Halloween. Here we go. All right. So Christians, they might have like their alternative way, right, of trick-or-treating or scary decorations. However, I'm not saying that every church out there does this or is aware of this, but this is why we need to wake up churches that we shouldn't be participating in this holiday just because it looks different. You know what I mean? Like, we try to Christianize it and make it less scary and more kid-friendly. But now, granted, I'm proud that Christian culture is trying to combat the effects of this holiday in itself, understandably, because it's safer for kids, it's in one location, and, it's well lit, and you're with your parents, and it's supposed to be, again, in a better, safer environment, have fun activities, and kind of keep them distracted from going to strangers' houses. So there is solace in the heart, right? I understand why they're trying to do this and why it looks so good. And supposedly it's supposed to be safer, right, for everything around, but you can't get away with some of the things. So having an alternative place for kids to go, on this day where it's supposed to be safer and more spirit-filled locations, of course, the spiritual doors to the underworld are more exposed. Again, do your own research on that. The line is much thinner during this time frame. Kids shouldn't really be outside during this time. They need to be in a location where it's covered in prayer. However, I do have to say that because of the neighborhoods that have the Halloween decorations, like they're opening up those doors for those neighborhoods. So parents, be aware of this. So sometimes a church like location is the safer place, right? But it needs to be coordinated correctly. It needs to be coordinated in regards to the safety of that. And then of course, churches are going to be heavily attacked in the spiritual realm with witchcraft and spells more than any other place. Like, you guys realize that witches and warlocks, they're aware that we're doing this, right? So you guys might be exposing these kids that much more. The best place for a kid to be at is in a home under the protection of a praying guardian. That is like probably the safest place more than anything else. Now, a lot of the Harvest festivals are also done not on the Halloween day, but sometimes it does line up that way. So again, do your research, really pray about it, be aware of what's going on, be in the spiritual, and get discernment from the Lord of what's best for your situation. Okay, because every situation is going to be a little bit different. That's how I'm going to word all of this. Is that God needs to convict each one of us in a certain way. And especially if you're a pastor or in charge of a church, like there's a lot more responsibility with that, of course. So just be aware of what's going on. So my biggest hang up on all of this is the candy. Like, we are being constantly pushing candy donations for these events. I am so confused. Guys, we cannot be hypocritical. We can't say one thing and do another thing. Like, if we as a group are like, hey guys, let's remove all these dyes and artificials and all these things and make the candy safer. But then at the same time, we're like, hey, bring on the candy, like donate the candy. Churches, you're asking people who are probably on fixed incomes, who most likely don't make their own candy, right? And then of course, there's laws and regulations about making your own candy and handing those out, right? Like, come on. So you're kind of like, there's not too many options, especially those who it's just easier to shop at Walmart or at Stater Brothers or at Albertsons, right? Like, it's right down the street. They're just going to grab an extra bag of candy to donate to the church, most likely. And because of the time of year, that bag of candy is going to look like what? What's going to be on the cover? What's going to be on the wrapping? Halloween. So how does this make sense, y'all? Like, how does this make sense? We're still giving out Halloween candy, but we're not celebrating Halloween. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You guys are so deceived in this. It makes me sick to my stomach. We should be set apart. No, y'all, we're going to feed you with the word. No, we want to look like the world, but make it look nicer. Oh yeah, we're still going to give you candy. Hey kids, let's have candy like we're like the witch from Hansel and Gretel and make it look nicer. I'm sorry, I thought the devil was the angel of light and the deceiver. Why are we doing that? Hello. I mean, am I the only one? Like, please drop a comment. Like this, as you can tell, I'm passionate about. Candy is poison. Currently, as of today, the majority of candy out on the market, and the candy that most likely 98% of the people who are going to buy them and donate them to the churches because they want to be a good church member and they want to help in some way. And, but I can't physically help with the activities, but I can donate candy. We're giving the children poison, and yet we're saying this is a better place for kids to be at. What is the difference? Because we don't have a skeleton on our lawn? That's the only difference? Do you guys hear do you guys understand, right? Am I the only one? There's nothing nutritious right now. I mean, we're moving in that direction, guys, but it's not there yet. And even then, we know candy is not good. And it's still a way of trick-or-treating, because guess what these kids are going to put it in? Baskets. And collect them. And then you have to leave it up to the parents to hide this candy. Like, the kids are not going to go around and sneak on it. Like, come on. Why are we even giving this as an option? God provides us food. He provides us like all this yummy nutrients. And yet we are like, oh, it's Halloween, we need to give out candy. In what universe did God say, hey, let's do that? That sounds like a good idea. Is nobody consulting God in this, or are we all thinking in our own way? Because that's really what the direction of it. Right now, currently, candy is from the devil, and we're giving it away because it's Christianized. And yet, it'll still have a witch on the wrapper because it comes from an organization that doesn't support children. You guys, it's a circle. I've been saying this since I was 20, and I didn't understand it. I just knew in my heart it is a circle. And yet now, finally, thank you, Lord, it's becoming exposed. And I don't sound like a crazy person anymore. I mean, to a degree, right? We buy poison that looks fun for kids. The money goes towards organizations that kill children before they even have their first breath. And then the product that we buy in exchange for the money goes towards the children who are living to poison them and kill them now. Do you guys see that? On both ends, we are giving our money to the devil, and the product that he's giving us in exchange is also from the devil. Where is the win-win in this for Christ? How is this helping children? We should be demanding change in our churches from this. Just don't give out the candy. Do the Harvest Festival. Do it on a different day than Halloween, because fall is fun and it's cooler. We should be actually doing it probably more in the November season in the desert, because it's usually not this cool. This is so rare that 2025, it is cooler. That's the date of this recording, but this is going to go on every year. I'm going to blast this every year. I mean, you guys will hear it later, I've done another episode about churches and donuts, and I have a really hard time when we're purposely, ignorantly allowing sugar, like so recklessly in our churches. And I hate that we are deceiving these children. Like, come on. You can't just be like, oh, we're praying for our kids. We're going around our neighborhood and we're praying over our neighborhood and our kids and all this and that. And oh my gosh, oh, Halloween. Oh, it's so scary. Oh, bad Halloween. Go away. Oh, no. But then you'll turn around and go and buy Halloween candy and place it right in the hands of kids. You're just doing it in a different way. You guys, this is how the devil works. He is so deceptive. You guys don't even see it coming. Trust me. Go listen to my testimony. It's a sliver of deception. It sounds so good. Again, the angel of light. You don't think that the devil's laughing at our stupidity? Trust me. That's probably his favorite word he calls Christians who are deceived and don't know it. And he laughs, and his demons laugh, and they go, ha, look how stupid they are. We are called to laugh at him because he was the stupid one to turn away from God. But currently, right now, the way we're going, if we do not change this in some way or another, You're going to keep allowing the devil to laugh at us and to laugh at our children and the parents. You guys, if we're trying to reach families who don't come to church, why do you think this is a way to do it? If we're trying to reach families who don't normally come to church, why do you think this is a way to do it? By deceiving them in the first place? Think about this, guys. Change the direction. I do not support these things. Of course, I do not donate any candy. But I have a hard time listening to these pastors encouraging their congregations to give them candy for these events. How much is a bag of candy now, especially like the big things that you normally would donate? Because you're not going to donate like a candy bar, one candy bar. You're going to donate a whole bag, right? Usually they're about $10, maybe more nowadays, but let's say $10. If everyone donated $10 instead of a bag of candy, which one saves them time from going to the store and then getting the candy and then bringing it back, so it saves them time, same amount of money. Hey guys, if we're going to spend $10 on candy, give it to the church instead. And then break those dollars down into coins. Now, again, we have to be careful because they're getting rid of the penny. I believe the nickel is going to be next. So let's do quarters. Quarters are going to be here for a while. Let's do that for a while. And give a kid a quarter. Hey, you won a game toss. Awesome. Great job. Here's a quarter. Don't you think the kid would like that more? Christians are supposed to be generous and giving. You will have a better turnout if churches are giving money away instead of candy. Tell me you will not attract families who are poor. They don't want candy. They freaking buy candy on their EBT card. They don't need more candy. Give them the money. Give them quarters. Give them dimes, because dimes are still worth something right now. That will change. Haha, change. See? It's all good. It's all works together. I just now thought about that. That's not even on my notes. Now, if I was a kid and I heard this church was giving out money instead of candy, woo! That makes you stand out. That makes your location more attractive. It makes it wealthier because you're not a common church that donates candy like all the strangers do door to door. Don't be cheap. Don't give out pencils. Don't give out staplers, staples, whatever. Pray over this. If you're going to have a harvest festival, have a harvest festival, but make it about the event and celebrating fall. Bring God into this. Hey, God is doing the season of fall. What does fall represent? Let's enjoy the season of fall and celebrate how God created this season. Right? And within that, make it about that, about the creation, about what happens to the ground and the earth and all the trees and the plants and what happens in fall. Let's celebrate what God does through that. And let's stand out above the rest, because as Christians, we should be standing out. Why are we falling? You guys are scared that no one's going to show up? So we have to give out candy? How dare you lower your standards to the world? We should be more attractive. We should be weirder. We should be like, what is going on there? I love you guys. I love the pastors. I love your church. I know where your heart's at, but you guys have not sought God in this, and it is evident. And I'm calling you all out now. So step up. It's not too late. You can still get rid of the candy because it's garbage anyway. Change it. Start now. It is early enough to start now. Hey, by the way, we're changing that. We're not donating candy anymore. The Lord has changed our hearts. We're going to give away money. We're going to give away love. We're going to give away prayer. How about every time that somebody wins a game, you high five them and give them a Bible verse to memorize? Speak life over that child. Instead of say, here, good job. Let me give you some poison as a reward. What are we thinking? How is that a reward? Y'all, wake up. Wake up. Change the lives of these children. They're not going to come back to your church because they had a great one night where they got candy at your place, and then guess what? They went trick-or-treating 2 nights before somewhere else. It's all going to look the same when they get home. Oh, I got all this candy. Where'd you get it from? Oh, I don't know. I got it from here. I got it from there. I got it from everywhere because everywhere gives candy. You guys. You guys can do this. Step up. Change the world. Because that's what we are called to do. We are called to change the standards. I love you guys. I love my pastors. I love my churches. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. But if I have to hear about candy donations one more time, you and I are going to have a conversation. And it's going to be out of love, and it'll be one-on-one. But I can't do this anymore. I can't. I can't watch these kids blindly come to your churches thinking, oh, it's better, it's safer, it's okay because it's at a church. We should be protecting children and families more than ever there. And they need to know the truth. And you don't have to give them the whole spiel like I have. That's fine. Everyone has access to the internet. My gosh, homeless people have phones from the government they can get on the internet. Everyone has a way to research. We need to stand out, and we need to stand out now. And it starts with things like this. We do not heed to this holiday. We don't compromise our beliefs anymore. Stop watering it down as if Jesus' sacrifice didn't mean anything to you. How much? You say you're not ashamed of the gospel, then what is going on? What is going on? May the Lord convict you guys. May you be penetrated in this realization. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys are thinking about all this, where your heart is, because I haven't heard anybody talking about this specifically. All they're doing is talking about, don't do the Halloween, don't do this, don't do Halloween, don't do Halloween. I agree with that, but there's a deeper realization that we have to get into this. If I didn't love you guys, I wouldn't say anything. I'm done being silent.